There's a lot of innovative, action-packed, and visually stunning flicks to look forward to in sci-fi cinema this year. And let's be honest, approximately a buttload of them are Marvel movies. Here are some upcoming sci-fi movies that you absolutely do not want to miss.
Open your eyes.
Brace yourselves, folks. The MCU's first big movie of the year is nearly here. Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is set to explore the now cracked open multiverse further. Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, will be seen contending with various universes and creatures, traveling back and forth in time to find solutions, while battling villains as diverse as a cyclopean squid monster and a corrupted time-altered version of himself. He will have a little help from the Scarlet Witch, who will be using the Darkhold to make sense of their new reality. Raimi, who helmed the original Spider-Man trilogy, appears to lean into his horror background for the MCU film, and weaves the narrative with themes of science fiction and high fantasy.
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizard.
The trailer promises fans a return to the trippy mirror dimension, teases the cartoon dimension, and sees its titular character travel to many alternate realities. If you thought Doctor Strange's distinctive psychedelic visual effects set it apart from any other film in the MCU, Multiverse of Madness is going to be a treat for the eyes. Elizabeth Olsen returns as Wanda Maximoff, Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, and Chiwetel Ejiofor reprise their past roles, and the film introduces Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez. In Japanese, the word Shin can translate to heart, or God, or true. When Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi made Shin Godzilla in 2016, it was perhaps a response to America's recent attempt to make their own version of Godzilla, a character who is, to remind you, both a Japanese citizen and a tourism ambassador for the Japanese government. Anno and Higuchi's version of Godzilla was, then touted as the true version. With the upcoming Shin Ultraman, Anno and Higuchi have re-teamed to give the same clarion of verisimilitude to everyone's favorite ultra-evolved, super-powered robot-like space alien being that ever hailed from 1960s Japanese tokusatsu television. Jurassic World Dominion is set to round out the current Jurassic trilogy in grand fashion, with dinosaurs now out in the real world living amongst humans. Taking place 4 years after the events of Fallen Kingdom, we're going to see what full-blown chaos really looks like. Colin Trevorrow is returning to the director's chair, with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard reprising their roles as Owen Grady and Claire Dearing, respectively. Most importantly, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are reuniting as Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm for the first time since the original movie.
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
That alone is worth the price of admission. Pixar may not be making Toy Story 5, but they are finding a creative way to continue with the franchise that started it all. Chris Evans is set to star in Lightyear, a movie that will show us the actual space hero Buzz Lightyear in action. Not the toy, but the man behind the toy. Directed by Angus MacLane, this looks to be a true blue action-adventure flick with Pixar's signature creative twist.
Well, let's go find out if this...
We got a breach in the perimeter.
In a world absolutely overflowing with sequels and reboots, this looks to be one of the more unique ones coming down the pipeline. Also, there is a talking robot cat named Socks in it.
Hello, Buzz. I am Socks, your personal companion robot.
Thor: Love and Thunder, directed by the brilliant Taika Waititi, comes out on July 8, 2022. It stars Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, and Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher.
I choose to run toward my problems and not away from them.
That's what...
Though we don't have a ton of details yet, we do know that Jane Foster will become the mighty Thor in Love and Thunder. She'll have her own set of powers, not just a copy of OG Thor's. Not only that, but Valkyrie, the ruler of New Asgard, and the MCU's first openly queer character, is likely to get a love story of her own. Love is in the title, after all. For extra fun, we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy characters, including Star-Lord, who still has a bit of a rivalry going with Thor.
We should fight one another for the honor of leadership.
Sounds fair.
It's not necessary.
It's not.
Okay?
I got some blasters unless you guys want to use knives.
Lady Sif, who got short shrift in the earlier films, will return, badass that she is. The only thing that can make this any better is a cameo from Beta Ray Bill. Hey, one can dream. With the runaway success of Get Out and Us, Jordan Peele has earned the kind of goodwill that sells tickets based on name recognition alone. Which is perfect because even though the first trailer for Nope gave us a solid 2 minutes worth of footage, we still don't know very much about what Peele has in store. Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steve Yeun all star as residents of a small California town who make an uncanny and chilling discovery. So far, we've seen a lot of ominous sky shots and a pretty creepy-looking cloud, which doesn't sound like much to go on, but the internet is nothing if not clever. The secrecy surrounding the film has made lots of room for speculation and wild theories, and the most popular guess promises a chilling sci-fi surprise.
Maybe it's aliens. It's totally aliens.
An especially memorable moment from the trailer sees Keke Palmer whisked into the sky by an invisible force, which is pretty much a staple of alien horror. Some internet sleuths have dug a little deeper and begun to theorize that the title Nope is actually an acronym for Not of Planet Earth. We don't have much to go on, and Peele certainly hasn't let anything slip, but the tagline,
Was it a miracle?
also points us to the sky. After all, miracles are thought of as a gift from the heavens, and aliens come from up above. But whether Nope delved into aliens or just intensely bad weather, Jordan Peele's track record is pristine. And whatever he's hiding up his sleeve makes this a must-see movie.
Looks like a child dressed like Spider-Man dragging a homeless corpse behind a train.
Spider-Man swinging through New York is a thing of the past. Now it's all about jumping through dimensions. After starting the year right with Peter Parker and Spider-Man No Way Home, we're gearing up to finally return to the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales. Shamik Moore and Haley Steinfeld are back as Miles and Gwen, years after the adventure that bonded the original crew of Spider-People.
Friends?
Friends.
Cool.
See you around, Spider-Man.
This time around, they're set to embark on a story so epic, it needed 2 parts. And while watching Miles awkwardly flirt could certainly fill out a movie or two, our spider duo are destined to grapple with much bigger problems that see them traveling across dimensions. They'll reunite with old Spidey pals, including Miles' mentor, Peter B. Parker, played by Jake Johnson, and meet some new faces along the way. Across the Spider-Verse promises the introduction of Issa Rae as Spider-Woman, and finally gives us a chance to learn more about the futuristic Spider-Man 2099, voiced by Oscar Isaac.
I'm Spider-Man. I need you to come with me.
Who the heck are you?
I just told you that. Listen, I'm from the future.
How dare you point at me?
You were pointing first.
The film is set to take everything we loved about the first movie and amp it up to the next level, including the animation style. Like Spider-Verse, the film blends 2D and 3D animation with comic book-inspired textures. The bonus? We also get a new animation style for every alternate universe that Miles visits.
Wakanda forever!
It's been nearly 4 years since Black Panther changed the trajectory of the superhero film. Fans have been anxiously awaiting for a sequel to the 2018 phenomenon, but returning to the world of Wakanda feels bittersweet after the tragic death of Chadwick Boseman in 2020. Marvel Studios are adamant about honoring Boseman's legacy moving forward, and though the role of T'Challa will always belong to the late actor, the legacy of the Black Panther will continue in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Director Ryan Coogler returns to helm the sequel, and so have key members of the cast like Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Gurira, Letitia Wright, Winston Duke, and Angela Bassett. They'll also be joined by some new faces, Michaela Cole and Tenoch Huerta. Though their roles in the film are under tight wraps, Wakanda Forever will also mark the live-action debut of Riri Williams, also known as Ironheart in Marvel Comics. Wakanda Forever is but one of many superhero projects on the horizon. While franchise fatigue can be overwhelming, Black Panther has always felt like a departure from the genre. The film helped bring Afrofuturism and a roster of powerful black characters to the MCU for the first time. Setbacks aside, Wakanda Forever will definitely expand the world that Boseman helped bring to life, and it's a world that Coogler believes the actor would have wanted fans to continue celebrating. Director James Cameron is on record with his philosophy that a film is not worth making if it won't be the biggest movie of all time. This certainly held true for Titanic in 1997 and Avatar in 2009, and there's no reason to believe that Avatar 2 will be any different. Cameron has spent the last 12 years improving special effects technology and underwater photography to capture an undersea adventure the likes of which audiences cannot yet imagine. Inspired by Maori and Polynesian cultures, Avatar 2 will take place under the oceans of Pandora, where the Sully family, complete with a new child, shall meet a tribe of reef-dwelling Na'vi. Even if Cameron's plan to follow this with multiple additional Avatar sequels never bears fruit, audiences can be assured they will see something impressive here. Fans will still have to wait a year to see Brie Larson's Carol Danvers suit up for the sequel to Captain Marvel. And as the film's title implies, she won't be on her own. Perhaps even more exciting than seeing Carol return for her second solo adventure is that she'll be joined by Monica Rambeau, Tiana Paris, who we saw gain superpowers in WandaVision, as well as Kamala Khan, played by Iman Vellani, who is set to debut in her own series, Ms. Marvel, later this year. Little else is known about the movie's plot, with Marvel keeping its stars tight-lipped as always. However, Larson has referred to the sequel as bonkers, and cited it as an example of Marvel's ability to continually reinvent itself. Hey, if it's somehow more bonkers than... then we are definitely interested. The Marvels is directed by Nia DaCosta, who previously worked with Paris on Candyman, and the script is penned by Megan McDonnell, who wrote for WandaVision as well. Carol will reportedly be squaring off against Zawe Ashton as the as-yet unnamed villain. The Marvels will also see Samuel L. Jackson reprise his role as Nick Fury, while Pak Soo-jin joins the cast as well. Aside from Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the MCU has a lousy track record with the second entries in its various properties. However, with this many great characters and a director who's already proven herself capable of reinventing a franchise, The Marvels is definitely a movie to look forward to. Fans of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy have been waiting for the third installment for more than 5 years. Thankfully, we'll all get a chance to hear Star-Lord's fantastic mixtapes again in May of 2023, when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 hits theaters. The Guardians of the Galaxy are a team of misfit heroes that includes Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Dave Bautista as Drax, and the voices of Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper as Groot and Rocket Raccoon. The first 2 films are candy-colored space adventures full of humor and heart, and it will be great to follow the adventures of this ragtag crew once more as they contend with, well...
more powerful, more beautiful, more capable of destroying the Guardians of the Galaxy.
This will be the final outing for this team of Guardians under Gunn's direction, which means that anything could happen and the stakes are higher than they've ever been. Will Star-Lord ever get the hero status he desires? Is alternate universe Gamora the same as the Gamora we knew and loved before the blink? Will Rocket steal any body parts? We'll have to wait until 2023 to find out, which seems way, way too far away. Ezra Miller returns as DC's resident speedster in The Flash, the first standalone film based on the superhero character. Argentine filmmaker Andy Muschietti directs the movie. It is inspired by the Flashpoint comic book crossover story where Barry Allen travels back in time to prevent his mother's murder. If there's anything we've learned from Barry Allen's story arc, it is that bad things happen when you mess with time. And changing the past rarely ever changes the future. In a good way, at least. The comic book story follows the character as his actions bring unintended consequences. In the film, Miller's superhero opens a multiverse by traveling back in time and runs into 2 different versions of Batman, portrayed by Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck respectively, during his missteps. Whether the film achieves the emotional complexity as the Arrowverse television show episode that adapted the same story remains to be seen. Sasha Calle makes her silver screen debut as Supergirl. Kiersey Clemens plays Iris West, Michael Shannon will be seen as General Zod, and Maribel Verdú will play Barry's mother, Nora Allen. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Slash Film videos about your favorite TV shows and movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.